Bombshell hearings in Michigan as Trump drops a megaton lawsuit on Wisconsin. In this video, we're going to take a look at the hearings going on today in Michigan. We're going to take a look at the major lawsuit that's demanding over 200,000 illegal ballots get discarded from Wisconsin, and why when Wisconsin falls to Trump, all the other states are going to follow as well. You're not going to want to miss this. Welcome, everyone. Dr. Steve here with you, ready to bring you our latest episode celebrating the inevitable collapse of left-wing globalism and the unstoppable rise of a new conservative age. So if you haven't already done so, you know what to do. Make sure to smack that bell and subscribe button. We'd love to have you as a regular part of this channel where each and every day we focus on optimism and encouragement in the midst of all the fake news nonsense spewed out by the mainstream media. Before we get into things here, let's give a huge shout out to sponsor this video, and that's the makers of this awesome motion detector ultra bright solar nightlight. Now you can install it anywhere because it's wireless. You never need to worry about buying batteries because it's solar powered with a high powered battery storage pack. It's equipped with motion detectors, and it becomes an entertainment light for the patio and for the barbecue with just the click of a button. And its motion detectors offer effective deterrence against burglars. And best of all, you don't have to spend a fortune for any of it. If you click on the link below right now, you're going to save 52% off as well as free shipping. So what could be better? Don't wait. It is a limited time offer. Click on that link below or visit nightsolarlight.com and bring its light to the dark spaces in your home today. All right, let's dive right in here. This is a big day. Big day today. Lots of moving pieces in all various swing states. But as of this morning, what's going on in two states in particular is huge. First and foremost, we have some bombshell hearings going on as we speak in Michigan. The Michigan Oversight Committee is holding hearings with both Republicans and Democrats throughout the day today, and perhaps even in tomorrow. We're being told that there are some major bombshells to come out today, particularly in Wayne County. Now, I'm sure you remember the Republican electors who testified that they were pressured to certify the vote, even though there were major discrepancies in nearly 3/4. You heard that right. 3/4, nearly 75% of Detroit's precincts poll books that didn't match qualified voters. Over 100 affidavits have been signed detailing eyewitness accounts of ballots being counted multiple times in Wayne County, procedures not being followed, observers being blocked from supervising the vote counting process, and of course, mysterious vehicles showing up and dumping ballots at precincts in the wee hours. Now, as these Michigan hearings are going on, the Trump legal team has just dropped a megaton lawsuit on Wisconsin where they're calling for over 220,000 ballots to be thrown out. Now, if you don't know, Wisconsin is pretty amazing because the Republican legislature there has made it virtually impossible to cheat by mail-in voting. Wisconsin doesn't allow mail-in ballots to be sent out without a written request from the voter. The voter has to submit a written request by Wisconsin law in order to receive a mail-in ballot. If a mail-in ballot is cast, but there's no record of a written request, then the ballot by law has to be cast out. So the Trump legal team filed for a recount in Wisconsin in order to go through all the ballots, which took them 10 days to complete. They just completed it, the recount on Sunday. Now, here I want to show you what fake news actually looks like, okay? Here's a perfect example of how the mainstream media lies to you each and every day. Check this out. Here's some headlines here. This is from the Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel. Biden gains 87 votes in Trump's $3 million Wisconsin recount as Dane County wraps up review. President plans lawsuit. What an idiot. Trump pays $3 million for a recount that actually made him lose even more to Biden. What an idiot. What am I? There's more. This is from CNN. Wisconsin recount reconfirms Biden's victory over Trump. Here's a headline from the New York Times. Recounts in 2 Wisconsin counties reinforces Biden's victory. And the story is the same in each of these stories, like the headlines. They're all the same. All they do is parrot one another. By the way, that's why they hate us, because we refuse to parrot them. All right? And the story is basically Trump is an utter idiot because he funded to the tune of $3 million a recount in Wisconsin that ended up netting even more votes for Biden. So Biden's election is even more affirmed. Ha ha. It's even more confirmed by this recount. Once again demonstrating the complete and total moron that Trump really is. That is emphatically not what happened. I mean, at one level, I'm willing to chalk this fake news up to pure ignorance on the part of the mainstream media because they're so alienating themselves from the Trump administration and the campaign. You know, I'm willing, I guess in my more generous moments, I'm willing to chalk up this blatantly fake news to their ignorance. But of course, it's not mutually exclusive since you have something called willful ignorance, like this Milwaukee paper. And I think that's what we have going on here. What's going on in Wisconsin is you've got two Republican commissioners, fellows by the name of Bob Spindell and Dean Knudsen. These are two men that have risen up and demanded transparency in Wisconsin's electoral system. They know how the system works, and they know how recounts work. And so what they did is they spearheaded and put into effect the recount that Trump's legal team was pushing for in Wisconsin, but according to Wisconsin's own specific and unique manner in which it conducts recounts, they end up having to audit the vote. Do you remember we did a live stream of breaking news when Andrew Hitt, the chairman of the Republican Party of Wisconsin, he tweeted out that the Wisconsin Elections Commission, after seeing President Trump's recount petitions and objections, they actually held an emergency meeting to try to change the recount manual. The reason they were doing that, they weren't successful, by the way. The reason they were doing that is that because Wisconsin law requires that all recounts include a full audit of the votes. Wisconsin doesn't recount like other states, like Georgia, for example, which is just a complete waste of time because in that case, you're just recounting fraudulent votes. What Wisconsin does, they do things differently. Wisconsin requires that recounts include full audits of the vote. This is why it's taken upwards of 2 weeks to complete. And so Wisconsin elections officials actually tried to change the recount manual at the last minute to get rid of the required audit because they knew they'd get caught. They'd get caught red-handed rigging an election. That's precisely what happened. Okay, but first, make sure you download your free gift for you by our free gift for you by clicking on the link below. It's called Our Fake News Antidote. It's a compilation of about 20 sites that I go to for my news each and every single day, all conservative sites, all celebrating Trump and nationalist populism. And of course, we need these news resources now more than ever. And you can download your own free copy of Our Fake News Antidote by simply clicking on the link below in the pinned comment section, and you'll have a ready list of your go-to sites that you'll definitely enjoy. It's going to inspire you throughout this entire crazy election process. It's yours absolutely free by clicking on the link below. It is my gift to you. All right, so what we got going on here is you have two Republican officials, Republican commissioners, Bob Spindell and Dean Knudsen, and they knew going into this that the recount would, of course, affirm the original count. But throughout these last several days, these Republican officials went through every single ballot in Dane County, where Madison is, and in Milwaukee County, and they were able to sit and personally review each and every ballot. And as a result, we now have over 200,000 ballots that the Trump campaign has announced that they are going to challenge going forward. So fundamentally, the recount was simply the means to separate disputed ballots and then challenge them legally. That's why the headlines and the so-called reports from the mainstream media are themselves such frauds. That's why they're fake news. They know, or at least they should know, that Wisconsin recount law requires a full ballot audit. And they know that the Trump team was using the recount to examine each ballot and then legally contest the ones they found suspect, which are now officially over 200,000. Biden is only a 20,000 vote so-called lead. So why on earth would they publish stories that said the recount confirmed Biden's victory? Why would they do that? Well, we all know why. Because they're left-wing activists disguised as journalists. They're ultimately propagandists. They're not reporters. That's why. It gets even worse. You may have heard that Wisconsin's radical leftist governor certified the vote for Biden the other day. He actually has no right to do that, no legal right. And we have today the meeting. They're meeting right now as I'm recording this video. We have a meeting of the Wisconsin Election Commission, and even they excoriated the governor, saying that Wisconsin law requires the governor wait 5 days after a recount to certify, because the loser of the recount has the right to rebut it. They have the right to repeal it, which is precisely what the Trump legal team is doing here. But again, not a peep from the media on any of this. We're finding that the media actually doesn't care about the law and whether it's followed or not. They have arrogated to themselves the role of the law. They are judge and jury at this point. But it appears to be all for naught. What this bombshell of a lawsuit, the Trump team has identified more than 200,000 ballots that have no written request attached to them, which means that those ballots are thrown out, or better, I should say, when they are thrown out, Trump will win Wisconsin by 180,000 votes at least, rendering the governor's certification moot. And if Wisconsin flips, gang, it's all over. They're all going to flip. If the Republican legislature there in Wisconsin agrees to certify the vote with all those ballots tossed out, with Trump winning, that's it. The Trump team is going to go full animal. They're going to go on the full offensive with both the Republican legislatures and the courts to get all contested ballots thrown out in all of these other swing states. If Wisconsin officials do the right thing and throw out the illegal ballots, then gang, look out. The whole thing, this fraudulent charade, begins to collapse and utterly implode. Now, before you go, make sure to like this video, comment down below, and subscribe to my channel. And you'll definitely want to check out my latest video on how we may have had a major election game changer. Shocking reports of voter fraud were revealed at the hearings in Arizona and Phoenix yesterday. You're not going to want to miss this, so make sure to click on the link, and I'll see you over there. God bless.